How's it going, everybody? Nikki D here, coming at July Man yet again. Today, another little dating video. We're just reading some more Reddit posts, as we like to do on this channel, and we're just gonna see what's up. We're just gonna read a post. So I haven't actually really read much into this post. However, I did read the comments very briefly, and they seemed a little controversial. So what do I mean by that? So normally, when someone posts on Reddit, you're only getting their perspective, of course, right? You're only getting their side of it. So it's interesting when the commenters have turned against the poster and they're saying, "Hey, maybe you're in the wrong," right? So I wanted to read it because I haven't delved into it at all, but apparently it's interesting. So this post is actually an update post, and I looked at their profile and didn't really find anything from an original post. They might have posted, but they have a lot of Tinder stuff. So we're just gonna go with what they've posted on the update, because I think that will be enough. Uh, I'm reading it as I'm talking, and it's already not looking good. Let's get into it though. All right. So I believe, if I'm correct, the OP, so the poster, is a female, and of course the other person is a male. Now I don't mean of course, you know what I mean. It could be anybody. Uh, But anyway, that being said, okay, you got the idea. Purple text, OP. That's the woman. All right, let's get into it. So today, hey, I've been invited out tomorrow. Did you still want to do something? So we don't have anything prior to that. Now there is a couple comments from the OP mentioning. Apparently they had mentioned, hey, let's hang out, let's do something, and they didn't answer. So that's all I'm really going off of. But we'll keep going. She responds, on a date, with a question mark. He goes, with friends, for when? And she goes, it's up to you. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but you're the one who's been asking me to go out with you. Makes me feel like you're not interested in me, especially when you've told me that you recently were with friends and got smashed with them as they kept feeding you drinks, apparently. Which, honestly, to me, they don't really sound like friends when you complain about it, or you seem not to enjoy the time spent with them. I don't want to get into that, but we'll that I will bring it up later. But we'll continue along. I find I dwell too much on like one paragraph, so let's just let it play out, and we'll see what it says. So I'm asking you because you read the message, and friends have asked me out, and different group of people. So yeah, let's get down to the bottom. Let's get down to the bottom. Okay. Um, I'm free all day tomorrow. Anything works for me. And then she says, I don't really understand why one is blue and one is purple. I honestly don't get what's going on with the texting there. And then she says, go spend time with your friends. Why didn't you just say that? He says. She goes, I have now. Let me know about tomorrow. I look forward in seeing you blank, which I guess would be a date or something. Or maybe the name of the person. So it looks like we are now on the next day. I can't tell. It looks like maybe the same day, actually. I think it's Tuesday. That's what it's saying. Sorry, it's hard to see. It's small. He goes, I did too, but our communication isn't the best, and I'm studying. She goes, hey, sorry. I went and watched Minecraft with my friend. Well, you let me know. I'm free all day tomorrow, so anything time works for me. So I got through the first page. Let's kind of quickly get into it. So I'm going to be completely honest. I find this type of texting very exhausting, like mentally. So my reasoning for that is, you're kind of doing all the legwork. Are we going on a date? What time are we going? Where are we going? You let me know. I didn't hear from you, right? All of that stuff is just putting no effort in, right? If someone is genuinely interested in the other person, they're going to make that effort, right? They should make that effort. And in this situation, there is no effort. There is zero effort being put in by the other person, which is the poster. When you go through the messages, he goes, hey, I'm asking because you read you read message, and friends have asked me out. So what that infers, what I'm just going off of, is he messaged, hey, do you want to go out? You want to do something? She read the message, so there's a read receipt that says they have read the message. They didn't respond, and then he's got 5 people or whatever asking him, hey, by the way, would you want to come out to the bar with us? And he's going, well, she ain't answering me. I'm probably going to just make the choice and go with them. Because, I do I wait around? What do I do, right? And this is all logical. If you don't hear from someone after so many hours or whatever, you're going to make plans. You're going to move on. The way she also responds with, go spend time with your friends, just seems really passive aggressive. You know, there doesn't need to be that. You could just say something as simple as like, "Hey, listen, don't worry about it, man. You know, go enjoy yourself. Let's plan for X, right? For this day. Does that work for you?" Right? Put the ball in his court, right? And see what's up, right? Put that effort, throw the ball to him. Hopefully he catches it and you move on, right? And it works. It works out well, right? You know, he goes, "Why didn't you just say that? I have now." That is one of the most snarkiest responses I've ever read. There's no reason for that hostility at all. There is none, right? Why didn't you say that earlier when I asked you, right? What's going on there? Well, I just did, right? I just did is that to me. I wouldn't even bother texting you anymore. I'm gonna be upfront. If I had a woman text me and if she was like, "That's the response," I'd just be like, "Listen, okay, I'm good." Right? Because it's showing me you're not interested in me. You're not valuing this conversation as like much as maybe I am, right? Which is I'm trying to set something up. Just saying. He goes, "Yeah, listen, I feel like our communication wasn't the best. She obviously made some plans, and she just keeps asking, let me know, let me know, let me know." It's like, why don't you say something? Why didn't you propose something? Just an idea. Moving on, we'll go page 2. I think there's like 4 pages, so hopefully we'll get through it. Okay, and I'll leave comments to the end of the page. "I don't make a habit of ignoring people, but we all have our problems in life, and for this I do apologize." Okay, that was good, right? That was good. And she's responding to something I might have missed about ice cream. I ain't seeing it. Anyway, "I'm sorry with how I responded to your messages regarding alcohol. I found a message of you asking me to get a drink. For some reason, I had in my head that you don't drink alcohol, and I thought you had asked that we don't go anywhere that involves alcohol on the first few dates. This had shocked me with you telling me how your friends were feeding you alcohol, but then again, you had every right to say no anyways. I don't have a problem with you drinking alcohol as long as you're not abusing it or drinking it excessively in front of me and making a fool of yourself. And then how was your day today? Did you see your friends?" Okay. Okay, so he's responding, "I only drink with friends where it's safe, not alone." He goes, "Yeah, having a rough day. Didn't end up going out. How'd you make out?" She goes, "That's good. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope you're all ready. I hope you're treating yourself as you do, and you deserve much goodness." Okay, so that's fine. I find the message, like the big paragraph about that, really concerning. Like, I don't even know if they've really met. Most people should use common sense when going on a date. I know this isn't common for everybody, but most people should use common sense when going on a date and applying it. And one thing you don't want to do is like drink excessively. I think she's fair in saying that, but I think I don't like where this conversation is going. I feel like this will take a nasty turn within a page or two. So let's just kind of go into it. But I don't mind this exchange. I think it's better, and they should communicate if there is an issue. But we'll see what happens. "Today was good, thank you. I woke up around 8 a.m. Honestly, I don't really think we need to really read much of there. She just she watched a movie or a show, had a good time. Okay, she had a great day. What time did you have breakfast?" Buddy says, response, "How was your day?" There's really not much going on. I'll put it on screen. You can read it if you want. There's really not much going on here. Okay. I will comment on this, though. I will comment on this before I go to the next page, and we'll try to wrap it up at the 10-minute mark. So when conversations with online dating have an issue, right, where they're like obviously not going anywhere, and you can tell they're not going anywhere, this is a problem where like just end the conversation. I'm maybe this is an unpopular opinion, okay, but like this is what we do here. So just end it, dude. It's like it'd be like bleeding out in a trench, right? You don't need to continue bleeding out. You can just end it. This isn't good for anybody. You can tell the conversation isn't progressing, right? It's not progressing. So, I don't know. This is Nick's fountain of wisdom today, okay? So when you're online dating, when you're dating online, right? Women have a lot of choices, and men usually don't, right? That's just a fact, okay? Now, I'm just saying usually. It's not always the case, right? But, like, most women, right, have plenty of matches to contend with. And they're just going to go to the next match, right? When it works out, right? It just works. So if something fizzles, they'll go to the next one and they'll be like, yeah, okay, right? That's easier for me to do. And in this case, it's the opposite, right? For the guy, doesn't have a lot of options, so you almost got to hang on to it. The problem is you need to know the time to execute. You need to know when to pull the trigger and say, let's go on a date. And if there's a problem where the date doesn't happen, like you're busy, She's busy. Someone cancels. You're sick. Schedules don't line up. She doesn't feel comfortable. You don't feel comfortable, right? There is something in there. You have to move forward somehow. Now, I don't know if this is a first date, a second date, no date, whatever we're talking about. I have no idea. But I know for a fact when I try to line up a date, if, let's just say, she canceled, right? Whatever reason came up, she canceled. No biggie, right? If we don't line up the second date, if we don't move forward in meeting or doing something, advancing the plot, it fizzles out. 9 times out of 10, it just fizzles out. Because she's not advancing it, he's not advancing it. He's just, how was your day today? It's like, right? Like, you're not doing anything. Let's get into the last page, though. Oh, this has to be it. Yeah, I don't know. He says, yeah, that sounds about right. She goes, how was this funny? At least I finally managed to eat. You know, it was quite chilly out. You know, whatever. I ate brunch. Oof. He goes, yeah, I would call it lunch. That's, I guess, the joke. She goes, a late brunch. Yeah, I don't know. This conversation, there's not even really much to talk about except what I just said. The conversation looks like it's completely fizzled out. In the beginning, again, like, we don't have enough context per se to say, like, what is going on. But if you are being asked out, you know, you don't just, on a date, when is it? What are we doing? Are you going to drink? Are there friends? Like, you're just going on, right? So I really got to say, like, I don't maybe think the guy was the best communicator either. I'll give it that, right? I'll give her that. And I think she was pleasant in her conversation, like, later on, but you're just not moving forward. And I got to try to think that I'm in the mind of this guy. And I think he probably just lost interest. I'm going to be honest. I think he just didn't know what to do. So he was like, all right, I'll just leave it. And, like, you're just going to let this conversation roll. Just end it. I think just end the conversation. Don't even say anything. Just move on. Just ghost. And just have a good one. I don't know. That's my thought, though. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Take it easy. And let me know what you think. All right, that's it. Peace.